You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains.
Please tell us who you are.
So my name is Stormy Anderson. I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for 14 years. I specialize in critical care and acute care. I work at one of the local hospitals in Detroit, right? I'm also a serial entrepreneur. I own 2 group homes in the city of Detroit. I own the #1 med spa in Metro Detroit, and I'm in the process of opening up a drug testing center within the couple weeks. I have 1 daughter. She's currently in college, and that's who I am.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the city of Detroit on the west side, off Finkel and Littlefield. It was literally the hood, right? So when I say the hood, I mean you had the liquor store on every corner. You had the drug addicts on every corner. You had the prostitutes walking up Finkel. You had the crack houses. In between our houses, you had the trap houses on the block. And then, of course, you had the local drug dealers that was all over. So I literally grew up in the hood. When I say I'm from the hood, I'm from the hood.
How was your upbringing?
My upbringing was a little challenging. And the only reason I say that is because, of course, we didn't have a 2-parent household, right? My mother was on drugs the majority of my life, and my oldest sister as well. So in return, my grandmother and my second oldest sister, because I'm a child of, it's 8 of us, and I'm number 6. So my second oldest sister helped raise us along with my grandma, along with my sister, my oldest sister, who was also on drugs, her 3 kids. So we literally all stayed in one house while my grandma went to work. My second oldest sister went to college trying to help us just maneuver through school and high school and middle school, things like that.
What were some identifiable moments that resonate with you?
So I can remember I was probably like 9 or 10, and I woke up to a loud scream. It was like my brothers and sisters were screaming. But when I woke up, I just seen my mom lying in a pool of blood where her boyfriend had stabbed her multiple times because they got into an argument. So my sisters and them, not knowing what to do, they called 911. But of course, because where we stayed at, like the police wasn't quick to respond, right? So when I woke up, I just saw my mama laying in this pool of blood, and I'm like, I was literally like 10 or 11. And I think I would never get that image out my head of my mom lying there. I've always saw my mom like getting beat by her boyfriends and stuff like that, just because she was addicted to drugs, and you know that was her lifestyle. So we saw that part, but I've never saw nothing like my mom just being lying in that pool of blood, being stabbed multiple times in front of her kids.
How has that affected your adult life?
I think it affected my adult life because growing up, I grew up with low self-esteem. I grew up thinking I wasn't good enough. And I think that's just because of the environment I was in. I grew up with a lot of guilt because I wanted to get out. Like, I wanted to get out of the hood. I wanted better for myself. I just knew that 10-year-old girl or that 11-year-old girl had something way more than Finkel and Littlefield.
How has guilt and low self-esteem affected your adult life?
I think with guilt, even as me growing up and wanting more and going to one of the more prestige high schools, my sisters or my family will always say, or just my family members will always say, you think you better than everybody. Or when I graduated from nursing school and I went on to, move out the city and move to the suburbs, where did you get this from? You think you better than everybody. You bougie. But when in actuality, I always wanted to get away. Like, that's always been my main focus, was to get out the hood, right? And especially by me having a daughter, I think that was important for me to do, was get out the hood. But I think that stopped me because I had so much guilt of leaving and wanting better for myself. I never was able to reach my maximum potential because I never wanted my family to think that I was better than them. I just wanted to get out. Like, I'm not better than nobody. I just wanted more. So I think that that kind of stopped me from reaching my maximum potential.
How did you overcome it?
I'm sorry. How did I overcome it? I don't think I fully overcame it. I think I'm almost at that point, because I'm realizing that I'm way more than the girl from Finkel. Am I completely healed? No. Am I 90% healed? I would say yes. And I'm still overcoming it. I think it's a challenge every day for me to just know that I have so much more to offer. So much more to show my daughter, so much more to give my daughter. So I think that's my main focus right now.
What does the grind mean to you?
So that's all I know, is how to grind. Like, I'll work at the hospital 16 hours, go work at the spa, another 8 hours, turn around, work at the group home. That's all I know, because that's how I felt, how I got out of the situation I was in. I got out the hood by grinding. I know nothing more than to grind, mean work for what I want. If I got to work 24 to 48 hours straight, I'm going to do that just to be comfortable and satisfied and have what I need. And of course, have what my family needs, right? I have no problem helping my family out. I've always said once I came into a little bit of financial freedom, I wanted to get my family out. Like, it's 8 of us. I have nieces who look up to me. I have great nieces who look up to me. So that's who I grind for. I grind for my family. I grind for myself. So for me, the grind means do anything you possibly can, or anything necessary to grind and make your dreams happen.
What made you want to write this ebook?
So I wanted to write this ebook because as I'm healing through my own traumas as a kid, right, I realized self-care is very important. And it could be just sitting by the water and reading affirmations saying you're good enough, you're worthy, you know what I'm saying? So for me, that helped me overcome a lot of my childhood traumas. So I just wanted other people to know that whatever, like, I'm just like the girl from the hood. I just came out the hood, you know? So I just want them to know, like, with the little self-care goes a long way. Self-care, like I said, can be sitting by the water, reading affirmations, or sitting by the water thinking of a plan for your next business venture, right? So for me, I just wanted people to know that self-care is important. And I just gave you, in my ebook, I gave you different ways to assess self-care and kind of cope with it along with all your traumas as a kid.
If you could encourage any young lady that's suffering from these emotions and feelings, what advice would you give?
The advice I would give is keep going. Don't let nobody tell you you're not good enough. Don't let nobody tell you you're not worthy. You can do whatever you put your mind to, but just know you have to work at it, and that's where the grind comes in. Not only are you working, you have to grind for it. And that's what you could be. And I'm more than the little girl from Finkel, right? I'm more than one of Johnny Mae's crack babies, right? I'm more than just a girl who had a baby at 20 and not married. So you could be anything you want to be, but you have to grind for it.
Thank you for your transparency today.
Thank you.
And I ride